It's game time. Game time. Game time. We winning, we winning, we winning, we winning. It's game time. Game time.
Welcome back to Gametime Greatness Season 9, Episode 4. I'm your co-host, Jake Vassar.
And I am Matthew Usreed.
The other co-host.
Yes.
You can start us off since you picked the topic.
Okay, so this week's topic, we're going to talk about MVPs and LVPs for each of our teams. The way we kind of looked at it was not just who your highest scorer is or whatever. We tried to look at the best move you've made and the most value you got out of it, whether it's a draft or an acquisition. So that's kind of how we approached it, and same with the least valuable.
And then after that, we're going to go through our playoff predictions because after this week, we're at the midpoint.
Of the regular season.
Of the regular season.
Yes.
And then that'll be it. This will be a short podcast. I know time has been a problem for some of you, so here you go. Here's a shorter one for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's kick it off.
Okay, well, I'm going to start with my own. So the MVP for my team, I would say, is Austin Hooper. He's the tight end one on the season. He had another great week this week. I knew he would fall to me. I would have rather had a few other tight ends when I was in the draft, but I knew he would fall, and I knew I was comfortable taking him. Actually, Cole Bennett is the guy who turned me on to him last year. So thanks, Cole.
I don't like Austin Hooper because he steals all of Calvin Ridley's touches.
No, that's Sanu.
That is Sanu.
Right, CC?
I don't like both of them.
Okay, my least valuable, as far as the actual value I've gotten out of him, is my team's namesake, Odell Beckham Jr. He's had quite a few duds. He's had one really good week, and then he had a solid week this week. But other than that, he's been pretty trash. And as far as spending my second round pick on him at the number 2 place in the second round, not good.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to my team. MVP is probably Andrew Luck. Without Andrew Luck, I would not have picked up Lamar Jackson, who is my actual MVP. Off the waivers, I think he's QB 1 or 2. I think he's 2 now because the last week wasn't too hot. But been very solid for me. Thank you, Andrew Luck. And my LVP, obviously it's Geis, but since he's on my IR now,
That's way too easy.
Yeah, we didn't want to make it that simple. So I'm gonna say Jared Cook. Ever since Breeze went down, Cook's been pretty worthless. However, the past 2 weeks he's gotten 12 and 14. So
Did you start him?
I did not. He has not earned that right.
He's not helped your team at all.
Yeah, that is true. So he is an LVP. Jason Witten's carrying the load though, and that is pretty embarrassing that I'm starting Jason Witten all this time. But he has a very high floor of 7.
What do you think you're gonna do next week? Cook
Next
or
week,
Witten?
I think I'm gonna go Witten because if Cook goes good, he's doomed for a bad, and that's what I'm gonna avoid.
Take that to the bank. All right. Next we have Ethan. Ethan, your MVP we put as Dalvin Cook, and that was your second round pick in the draft. If we count keeper round as the first round, this is what we're assuming the whole time. Okay. Dalvin Cook has been outstanding this year. Not really much more to say about that. He's good every week. He gets you the points that you need. But your worst move this season, your LVP, was keeping Antonio Brown over Thielen, or I guess Thielen would have been the other choice. But keeping Antonio Brown, I mean, I've been there when you had your first round pick get you nothing, except he got you. He got you points in week 2, but.
Did he even win week 2? If you won week 2, then I would still not say it's worth it, but...
I think he lost.
Okay, well, that's too bad.
But I don't know. Either way, Antonio Brown has not helped you at all, and I know that you're very sad about that, but that's just how it is.
Yeah, it's okay. All right, next up we have Holmes. Clear MVP, again at the tight end position, Mark Andrews. Thank you, Mark Andrews, too, helping out Lamar Jackson, really supporting him. I think, is Andrews number 2 behind Hooper? No. Number 2 on the season?
I don't think so.
No, he's up there.
He's a top 5 tight end, and I know Holmes got him in a double-digit round of the draft.
Yeah.
So.
Knew him from the Sooners, which bridges perfectly to his LVP, which I've been saying since the draft. Baker Mayfield, not that good. Browns, not that good. Baker's been a complete bust. He's now on the waivers.
That was the 3rd quarterback taken off the board.
Yeah.
By the way.
But I think he picked up Murray again, or who I don't know who had him, but they dropped him. Holmes has Murray now, so I think he's in fine shape.
Yeah. Just that was. You could have got a lot more value with that pick. So, next we're gonna do Brandon. Your MVP this year has been historically good. The Patriots defense is juicy matchup after juicy matchup. At least in the first half of the season. Maybe later, not so much, but we'll see. But I mean, they're getting 20+ points a game, which is insane.
It's completely swings the game every time.
Yeah, that's the obvious choice on your team, and your team is full of good players. Yeah. But the Patriots defense has been.
Me and Ethan were talking today, and I thought the Patriots defense was number 23 on the season, but Ethan said they're higher, and you might be able to add to that if you know the exact rank.
What?
Yeah, they're.
What do you mean?
Like number 23 on the season.
Oh, the number 23 fantasy player overall.
Yeah, and they could be higher than that. So that's what Ethan was saying.
That's
we didn't actually
for a defense that you picked up off the waivers.
Maybe Grant can fact check that and put it on the screen. The actual.
Yes, thank you, Grant.
Yeah.
And your least valuable player. Well, this was a hard decision because all of your players have been pretty solid. We went with D.D. Westbrook. He's been all right for a 6th round pick, but he's not what you want for your wide receiver 2, which is what you drafted him as.
Yeah.
Now that spot's filled by Golden Tate or McLaurin or something, but
which worked out because they've both been phenomenal.
But D.D. Westbrook has not really been what you drafted him to be, so that was our pick for that.
And then moving on to Grant, 0-5. The MVP, Deshaun Watson. This was kind of difficult. Like, Watson's been great, but we don't really like taking quarterbacks, even though mine was a quarterback too. But Deshaun Watson, I think he was, drafted 4 off the board?
As far as quarterbacks?
Yeah,
he was the... Yeah. No, he was taken before Baker.
Oh, okay.
Still.
Either way, great pick. He's been kind of on fire, even though the Texans cannot piece together wins. Or maybe they have been. I don't know.
Yeah, they have. They beat the Chiefs this week.
Okay, yeah. They've been... Okay, they're pretty hot then. LVP-wise, I've also said this. It was a player that we were all afraid of, Damian Williams. It was 2nd round, right? Drafted in the 2nd round. I think because he fell.
It was the 3rd round.
It was the back of the 3rd, and I remember he kept falling, and everyone was like, "I don't want him." And then Grant finally took him. We were all mad because he fell that far, but he's played I think 3 or 4 games, and he sat out 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, we get it. He was hot at the end of last year, and he's a part of that high-flying Chiefs offense, but he just hasn't been there.
It wasn't a bad draft pick, but it just hasn't worked out.
What sucks about your MVP, Deshaun Watson, is the week that he put up 50 points. He also gave 50-plus points to Will Fuller,
who beat you.
Was against you. Sorry about that. Okay, next is good old Colin Christian. CC, your best pick was Austin Eckler, that's for sure. I mean, just like Brandon, you've had a lot of solid players on your team. But Austin Eckler, you picked up relatively late to what his role has been in the past. But, I mean, Melvin Gordon hasn't played for the first 4 weeks, and then he came in these last 2 weeks, and still Eckler's been the guy that they're throwing the ball to. He's getting you solid points everywhere. He helped you defeat me last week, unfortunately. And then your least valuable player, I mean...
It's kind of hard.
This was hard because all your players, again, have been pretty solid. Up until this week when you're about to lose. Excuse me. But we chose Deshaun Jackson because, I mean, week 1 was amazing. But then he's been hurt since then and he's got 0 points since then. And that was the only real choice we had for least valuable player. Yeah. So, Deshaun Jackson.
Moving on to Cole. MVP, obvious. So he had the decision that we were all waiting for to keep Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara. He took McCaffrey, and that was a great decision. McCaffrey is unbelievable, number 1 fantasy point scorer on the season, and that's with quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious, and yeah, he kept him, and it was a 1st round pick, but he's outperforming all of the 1st rounders, so amazing.
For sure.
And then the other one, I think, was his 4th round, maybe 5th, of Joe Mixon.
He got Mixon in the 3rd.
Yeah,
that's his least valuable.
So Mix hasn't been doing terrible, but he's doing about what you expect to be one of the worst offenses and offensive lines in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
It's, again, Colts team's pretty good, and he's traded away some of his worst players. And so picking that was kind of hard, but Joe Mixon has underperformed for a third-round pick.
Zach, we kind of had trouble with your team because they're just all kind of average. But Kamara has been your best player. And we all knew that was going to be the first pick in our draft was Kamara, and the first pick of the second round. We all knew it was going to be Kamara, and we knew Kamara was going to be pretty good. And Kamara's been pretty good for you. But that's about all I have to say about Kamara. The least valuable player, Melvin Gordon. Same kind of deal. Like, we knew stuff about him before the draft. Like, we knew he was going to be a risky pick, but you're the one who went and bid on it, and then 4 weeks, nothing, and then 2 weeks, almost nothing.
Yeah.
So,
having said this, though, in 3 weeks' time, Melvin Gordon could be amazing. So
yeah,
that's just the way it is right now.
we'll see.
It looks like an LVP.
This is your half season valuable
analysis.
players.
Me,
Yeah, go
Noah. This one hits close to home, and I hate saying it, but MVP Chris Godwin. He's stealing everything from Mike Evans.
He's the wide receiver 1 on the season.
He is. He has like 6 or 7 touchdowns. It might be more. It might be 8. He hurts my head. He makes me really sad. You're about to beat me twice because of Godwin. I'm not happy with him, but
Jameis Winston really likes Godwin.
yes.
I was a little sick boy during church this morning. I was watching the game. Every throw to Godwin looked great. Every throw to Evans looked like Jameis Winston was the worst quarterback in the world.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But you know who Jameis Winston does not like? He doesn't like getting dubs with O.J. Howard. And ask me why. Ask anyone in this
Why?
league why.
Why, Jake?
Why does Noah have him on his team?
Why does Noah
And
have him
Why
on
does
his
Noah
team?
have him starting on his team?
Why is Noah starting him?
I don't know. I don't know. And I want maybe for Noah to send a video to the league explaining why. Although I do
We would
believe,
love it.
I do believe he's going to be found on the waivers this week. Noah has a newfound jewel on his bench called Hunter Henry.
Ugh.
Who?
As we know right now, during the game that's going on as we speak, Hunter Henry has 8 receptions for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
That's a solid week, I would say.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay, Jack, your MVP this season has been Matt Ryan, another quarterback. But, he's been your best player. You've had one outstanding week from Fuller. You've had one outstanding week from Diggs. But other than that, nobody's been as consistent on your team as Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan has been putting up 20-plus points every week. It's exactly what you want from a quarterback who you took in the same round that Holmes took Baker, but you took him later. Holmes should have taken Matt Ryan. Interesting, yeah.
Thanks for bringing that out, Matt.
Your least valuable player... is it really a player per se? It's more of just a move that you made, and that was trading away Leonard Fournette, most of all, Todd Gurley, and Tyler Lockett.
I do want to say this, though. Jack, kudos for keeping Fournette. I know you didn't have much option, but everyone flamed you. Well, I guess not really. They just flamed your team. Never mind. But Fournette's been
It was a
amazing.
hard decision keeping Fournette, Diggs, or who was the other one? Carry-on. But you picked the right one to
Yeah,
keep.
you
except
did.
Then
You
you,
gave him away.
then you didn't keep him.
And
So,
really,
trade.
it's not even the fact that you traded away great players, but you did receive great named players. But Gordon's underperformed. Fuller's had one great week, did win you the week though, and Kelsey's been pretty solid. But
you might have beaten Jarvis if
Yeah,
you had
that's true.
Gurley, Fournette, and Lockett on your team.
but
But
It's-
oh well.
you're sitting at 1-4. You might
Hindsight
make
is
playoffs.
20/20, but we all knew it was a bad trade.
I still had respect for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so lastly, we have Jarvis's team. MVP. I think, I don't know why, we kind of struggled to take this. And standings wise, he's better than my team, but I couldn't find an MVP on his team. But we went with Amari Cooper. He's been great. Unfortunately, I think he got hurt today.
He did get hurt today, unfortunately.
Hate to see it.
Sorry, boys.
Yeah, but he's been great for Jarvis, as has everyone on his team on week 1, which brings me to his LVP, and you know it's coming, Sammy Watkins. If you do that good in 1 week, you have to start him. You feel obligated to start him in the predecessing weeks, or following weeks. And so Sammy Watkins kind of hurt his team because you're like, well, he got 45 last week. I'll start him this week. And then the next week, you're like, well, he got 45 2 weeks ago. So he's just kind of filling a roster spot that could probably be better filled. That's all.
Yeah, and it's very crushing to your spirit also.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Although he's about to be 4-2, so he's pulling out wins,
That's true. Yeah.
and it's whatever. It's typical Jars, I guess. Fab is definitely $100. All right, we're done with that.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, moving on.
Playoff predictions. Would you like to?
Yeah,
start?
I'll start us off. So we originally looked at the standings, and now I don't know if this is going to be released, but they were very cut, and they were exactly what we thought they would be at the end of the season. Now they're going to shift around this week, so when you guys look at it, it will be different. But we thought the first 6 were. But to start with, the first 4 were obvious, and that's Cole, Brandon, Matt, and Cece. All have solid teams. I think they're sure playoff teams. Now, who's going to get the 1 and 2 seed? I don't know. I would bank on Cole
My money's on Cole.
to be one of them.
Brandon, we looked at his schedule to go ahead, and he's got a rough end of the schedule. He and I play each other twice, so those games could go either way.
So it may end up being
Yeah.
Cece squeaks in just because Matt and Brendan have to play each other twice. And I don't remember Cece's end of year schedule, but I don't remember it being particularly hard. So.
The only thing we really noticed was that Brandon's was difficult.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
And then you can talk about the
All
next
right,
4.
In the next 4, we were a little on the fence on, but I really think that Jake and Noah will be the other 2 in playoffs. Sorry, Ethan and Jarvis. But I mean, anything could happen. That's not set in stone. I'm not a prophet, but that's just what I think's gonna. That's just what I think is gonna happen. Jake's team, I think, is solid, and Noah's team, at the beginning, I did not think was good, but right now he's got the 2 top wide receivers on this season on his team, and he's got solid running backs too. Aaron Jones dropped 50 last week.
The frustrating thing, and I know we all hate Noah, and we hate his team always.
We love Noah,
Yeah,
but we
kind
also
of.
love to hate Noah.
Yeah. But we all thought at the beginning, like, Noah's team sucks because he scored like 100 points. And now, like, he's got a great team and he's done top 6 now.
It hurts.
He's about to climb
It
more,
hurts
so.
the very core of my soul to say that I think Noah is a great fantasy player.
Yeah. I think everyone in the league would admit that. Maybe not Ethan. But everybody else probably would.
If you ask
for sure
Ethan,
would.
everyone sucks at fantasy except him.
True.
We'll see if he misses playoffs for the 3rd year in a row.
Hey, you know what they say? If you miss it twice in a row, you're bad.
They as in Brandon and Jake. And I don't know if
I'm
I
sure-
agree with that because I've missed it twice.
we think you're bad.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
And then the last 4,
We
We
were
did-
fairly sure we are not going to make playoffs.
yeah, unfortunately, to start with, Grant and Zach are both 0-5. I don't know if we've ever seen a team 0-5 come back and make playoffs.
I
Now-
for sure do not know about
Yeah.
that.
It was a good season, boys. Don't trade your players because we don't want any collusion happening. No, but I don't think they'll make it. And then
DHER? What?
Jack's team, it's been okay, but
The last 2 weeks he's averaged what?
It's been good.
175.
he
the
just
last 2
didn't
weeks?
get the win this week, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I said unfortunately a lot today. Holmes' team is the best of this bottom bunch. I think if anyone is going to climb out, it's him. But I still don't think he's strong enough to make playoffs.
Agreed.
Well, he's lacking in some key positions. So
I think that is all we have for today.
yeah, that's all I have.
Good podcast.
I think yeah, you too, Matt. I think we're sponsored by Whataburger over here. Just want to give them the quick shout out. If you guys guess the right fry box, you might win free Whata. So
Yeah.
like and subscribe. In the
Make sure
bottom
you
left corner.
comment the right fry box.
Yeah, it's gonna be 1, 2, or 3. So please, and we'll let you know by October 31st.
We'll pin whoever guesses it right. We'll
All
pin
right.
that comment.
There it is.
All right.
And that's podcast 4.